Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Financial Finesse. Today I'm doing a video that's been requested of me a couple times, and that video is the topic of the top 5 ways to make illegal money. Now this video is for research purposes only. I'm not suggesting anybody go out and do these things that I'm about to tell you about, but they're just here for your knowledge, just in case you wanted to know. Just in case, maybe you were doing something you didn't know it was illegal and you kind of want to stop, So as I said, I'm not condoning this. I'm not telling anybody to start doing this, but these are the top 5 ways to make illegal money. Now, everyone knows that you can sell illegal substances and things like that, but I'm not going to talk too much about those. We're going to talk about the lesser known things and ways to make money. All right, guys, so we have ATM fraud. This method does require some cash up front because you have to buy an ATM machine. You can get a brand new one for about $2,000, or you can get a used one for about $1,000. But once you get this ATM machine, you're going to set the ATM fee to about $40 or $50. That's really high. All right, you don't have to set it to $40 or $50. You can make it 10 or 15, or the regular $4 to $5. But the reason why you're setting it so high is because there are certain financial institutions that will waive ATM fees. All right. Now, if someone has a bank account with one of these financial institutions, then they could, in theory, go to your ATM, withdraw money, pay the ATM fee, but the bank will waive it, and you will still make money off of the ATM fee. The bank actually reimburses the person who owns the bank account. So you're the only one making money and the bank is losing money. Now, you can do this in an unlimited amount of times. So, you can make a lot of money and it'll cover your initial investment at $2,000 if you bought a brand new ATM machine, usually within the first 2 weeks. Now, let's say hypothetically, you have one person that gets their ATM fees waived and they get charged $60 a day. You made $60. Now, let's say you have 5 people. You just made $300 that day. Now, let's say this happens 7 days a week. 7 times 3 is $2,100. Within that first week, you've made your money back on the ATM machine that you bought. Now, imagine doing this for a whole year. Or imagine getting more people to get bank accounts that waive the ATM fees and just go and withdraw their money out of the ATM. Now, of course, those people will put their money back into the bank account. They'll deposit it the next day, and they'll just keep doing it over and over. But eventually, one of the cons of this method, this illegal activity, is that the banks will start to realize what's going on. They'll say, hey, this person keeps withdrawing $40 and depositing $40. They keep withdrawing $60 and depositing $60. And the only thing that's happening is we're losing money because they're getting it from this ATM. They'll say, hey, it's this same ATM in this same spot, or these ATMs in this area, and they'll alert the FBI. They'll think it's maybe some form of money laundering, or maybe, they don't know what's going on. They're gonna alert the FBI. The FBI is gonna come to you because the bank already has your info, they have your address. They're gonna knock on your door, badges out, black Suburbans on your block, and you're not gonna know what's going on. But the jig is up, you got caught, and who knows what the repercussions will be. So that's one method of ATM fraud. It's not too popular, not a lot of people know about it, but don't do it. You didn't get it from me. I'm not condoning it. I don't recommend you do it. I don't recommend you start. I completely and 100% don't recommend you do it. Don't blame me if you do it. All right. You may be wondering what money laundering is, just in case you didn't know when I said it earlier. Money laundering is when somebody has a business, they have a legit business, and somebody doesn't have a legit business. Maybe they're selling some things, on the block, and, they kind of need to have the money in a bank. So what they'll do is they'll take their money, they'll give it to somebody who has a legit business, like maybe a barber shop or any business that's usually cash based. That way you don't kind of have to explain where the money's coming from. You could just put it in the book as a new customer paying cash for a certain service, maybe window cleaning, car wash, things like that. That is illegal. That's called money laundering. It's a way to wash dirty money and make it clean, and the FBI pays attention to that too. Another way would be tax fraud. All right, so let's say you're filing your taxes and someone's like, hey, You know, I have 4 kids. You know, if you give me $500, you know, you could claim my child, and then you could have the rest of the money. That is tax fraud. Okay, it's a lot. It happens a lot, but it's illegal. The pros, yeah, you could get you know, more money on your tax returns, a lot more money on your tax returns per child that you claim or per dependent. But the cons, if you get caught, you know, through like an audit, you could probably end up paying 20% more to the IRS than you were going to pay them in the first place. It does carry a prison sentence of up to 3 years for first-time offenders, and you can end up paying a fine of up to $250,000. So definitely not worth it, and the chance that you get caught won't really be cool. Kind of be wishing you wouldn't have done it. All right. Now, you may have heard a lot of people doing it. It is common, but I don't recommend doing it. Another way would be tax evasion. Not paying taxes on the money you've made. So here's how this works. You have a cash business. Let's say you made $100,000 this year. Right? Now it's time to file your taxes. It's all cash. You go, you do your taxes, and you lie and you say you made $60,000 or $50,000. So you said you made $50,000. You only have to pay taxes on that $50,000. The other $50,000 is tax-free money that you get to pocket, and Uncle Sam has no idea it exists. All right, so the pros of this is you pay less taxes, right? But the cons are you make less money on paper. So let's say, you know, you want to go out and get a loan. Maybe you want to get a loan to start another business. They're going to look and say, hey, how can you afford to pay us back? You know that you make $100,000 a year, but on paper you put $50,000 a year. So because of that, they don't see the extra money that you have. So that's a big con. Let's say you want to buy a house and the house is $400,000. You know you could afford the house. But if they see that you only make $50,000 a year, they're going to ask you how you could afford the house, you know, and they won't give you the loan, or you'll have to pay a higher interest rate on the loan, or, you know, something like that. All right. Now, if you're caught committing tax fraud, you get a felony. All right. That's prison time of no less than 5 years. You're going to get $250,000 fine. If it's a mistake, that's okay. But if you're doing it on purpose, and it's kind of easy to tell when you're doing it on purpose, you're going to get in trouble. All right. And last but not least is EBT fraud. So EBT or SNAP is pretty much government assistance for the needy, less fortunate. So, you know, they have extra money to buy food or, you know, basic necessities. Now, what tends to happen, which is completely illegal, is that some people will sell their cards with a certain amount of value for a little bit less, but they'll sell it for all cash, and then take the cash to buy what they want. Something that's not well known is, like, let's say somebody opens a deli, bodega, or corner store. They'll buy the EBT cards off of somebody in the neighborhood. Let's say the card is worth $500. It has $500, you know, deposited on it from the government every month. They'll buy the card for $300 cash, and then they'll use the $500 at a wholesale store to buy food, and they'll take that money, they'll take that food, and they'll sell it in their grocery store for a profit. Now, if they buy 4 $500 cards, that's $2,000 worth of money that they could use to buy food at a wholesale cost and then sell it in their store, you know, and make profit. That's completely illegal. I don't recommend doing it. I don't recommend selling your EBT card if you have it. You eventually you will get caught. If you do have a store, you'll more than likely lose your license. You're gonna face jail time, and you're probably gonna have to give all that money back plus interest. Crime tends to come with the judge having the power to tell you to pay double what you gained back as, you know, a punishment. All right. Thanks for watching the Financial Finesse, guys. You got any comments, questions? Drop them down. Subscribe, hit the like button, share it with some friends. Remember, don't do any of these. I do not recommend it. All right. Later.